Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
Well, it's official. Niger has suspended military cooperation with the United States of America, basically kicking out the US military troops. As you know, the US has one of its biggest base in Niger, I believe it's about 800 kilometers away from the capital city, and it's big. It's a big investment because the US invested a lot of money building that base, and they use it also as a strategy to show their upper hand in that region, the Sahel region, when it comes to their competition with China and Russia. So this is huge. This is big, and let me show you first the spokesperson of Niger, what he said announcing the suspension.
The government of the Republic of Niger announces to the national and international public that the 12th, 13th, and 14th of March 2024, its representatives, under the authority of His Excellency, Mr. Ali Mohamed Lamine Zeine, Prime Ministers had a series of work meetings with an American delegation comprised of the Assistant Deputy Secretary of State for African Affairs, Head of Mission Mrs. Molifi, said Dr. Celeste Wallander, Under Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs, General Michael Langley, Commander-in-Chief of AFRICOM, and Ms. Kathleen Fisburn, Ambassador of the United States of America to Niger. In terms of protocol, the arrival of the American delegation did not comply with diplomatic customs. Indeed, it was unilaterally, through a diplomatic note, that the American government informed the Nigerian government of the arrival date and composition of its delegation, as well as meeting with the authorities of Niger, without specifying. Concerning the purpose of his visit, it is therefore out of courtesy and following our ancient traditions of welcome and hospitality that the government succeeded with the American delegation. On this substance, the exchanges between the two delegations focused primarily on the military transition underway in Niger. The cooperation between the two countries, especially in military cooperation and the fight against terrorism. Niger's political orientations and outlooks in their aspect related to the choice of partners on the diplomatic front, military and strategic. It being understood that in the American approach, all these three issues are deeply linked. On the ongoing transition and the return as soon as possible to a constitutional and democratic order, Niger's government confirms its commitment to quickly restore constitutional life. This is a solemn commitment made in full responsibility by the President of the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Homeland. Head of State, as expressed in his address to the nation on August 19, 2023, on the selection of diplomatic, strategic, and military partners. The government of Niger regrets the stance of the American delegation to deny the sovereign Nigerian people the right to choose their partners and the types of partnerships that can help them to truly fight against terrorism. Even as the United States of America, they have unilaterally decided to suspend all cooperation between our two countries. Also, the government of Niger strongly condemns the condescending attitude led to the threat of retaliation from the head of the American delegation.
This is a huge blow to the US because Niger has gone from being their biggest ally in the Sahel region, one of the biggest ally, to now getting their military cooperation suspended. This is going to hurt the US for sure, because Niger was basically the only, I would say, country that was still accepting of their base. And I remember I called this out a few months ago when we were talking about Niger kicking out French troops. And I was asking, why are you kicking out the French but leaving the US troops? Just, doesn't add up. Get rid of every foreign troop if it's about not having foreign troops on your land. I don't know about this decision that was made by the Niger junta, honestly, because, if you're fighting against neocolonization and foreign troops in your country doing whatever they want to do, you're against it and you're trying to kick them out because, that's what they're doing with French troops. Now, it's been reported that they have allowed the US troops to continue with their operation, and I don't know about this decision, because at the end of the day, why would you not allow French troops to continue with their operation and you want them to withdraw from your country, which we believe is the right decision considering all the facts that are available? Why then allow US troops to continue with their operations? So Al Jazeera has reported that the United States military has resumed operations in Niger and flying drones and other aircraft out of air bases in the country more than a month after a coup has halted their activities. Ever since the coup in Niger, when they kicked out or removed Mohamed Bazoum, they have halted the operation the US troop used to have in Niger. Actually, they have about 1,100 troops, and they were told to stay where they are. They were basically in their base and they were not allowed to move out or in. So that was how it has been thus far from July to now. But now they are claiming that they are allowed to go in and out. They are allowed to fly drones. They're just continuing with their business. And as you know, the US military has made Niger a primary regional outpost for its patrols with armed drones and other operations against fighters and rebel movements that have seized territory in the region. And so that's the claim, at the very least, that's what they're claiming to do. So they have a huge base in Niger, which shows here that it cost about $250 million of US taxpayers' money. This is taxpayers' money from the US, by the way. US government is taking out from the US and building in Niger. So you also have to understand, the US is not doing this out of their goodness of their heart. They're using Niger as a base. They train their people there. They send and bring in drones and arms, and basically they're using it as their backyard. And by the way, Niger has a good reason. According to them, the reason that they have given, one of the reasons that they have given, is that the US delegation did not follow diplomatic protocol, and that Niger was not informed about the composition of the delegation, the date of its arrival, and the agenda. The spokesperson said, quote, "Niger regrets the intention of the American delegation to deny the sovereign Nigerian people the right to choose their partners and types of partnerships capable of truly helping them fight against terrorism." End quote. It seems like Niger doesn't take disrespect lightly. By Niger, I mean this current junta leaders. As you know, the previous leader that was overthrown was very close with the Western world, and he was their ally. They loved him. They loved him so much, to the point where when he was overthrown, they were making statements left and right. They were basically begging for him to go back. And you know, when they're that pressed about a leader, an African leader, he must have promised them a lot and has done a lot for them. So when I say Niger doesn't take disrespect lightly, I mean this specific leadership, because even previously, the reason why they kicked out the French ambassador is because they called him in for a meeting. He didn't even respond to their request. Imagine that. He's an ambassador in someone else's country. right? There's a way to behave. He didn't even respect the authority enough to show up. So they told him again, they warned him again, and I believe like the third time around, they're like, okay, fine, you can leave the country. And they even told France they need to replace him. France never agreed. They kept warning them. They never took him out. Macron actually came out and said that he does not think what Niger is doing right. And, you know, he even claimed that he's being held hostage because the Nigerian authorities were not allowing water and food to get into the embassy because they told him to leave. He never left, so they had to find a way, a peaceful way to force him out. So all that happened because the French ambassador decided to disrespect the authorities of Niger. And now this time around as well, the US delegation, seems like they never communicated with them. They never told them how many are coming, like treating them like basically they're not equals, right? Like, you do what I tell you to do and I do what I please, and you just be quiet about it. But Niger said, wait, it's no longer going to be that way, and they retaliated basically. But anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this military cooperation getting suspended by Niger. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one.